All right, in this lesson, I'm going to devote a little bit of time to talking about setting up the foot roll set-driven key. Now, this is a very similar foot roll to our Neeks Character Rigging Volume 1, but what's different here is that we're going to be using a little bit of an offset. So what we want is at 0, the foot's at rest. There's nothing going on. We'll key it. Then up till around 5, we only want the top part of the foot to kind of lift, so the ball of the foot gets a little bit of action. The toes are still planted, and then as we get closer to 10, we lift up on the toe. I think this, like Delano, our lead animator here at Digital Tutors, said, it gives the foot a little stickiness. It really makes it plant the toe and move forward with some locomotion. All right, so let's start with our left foot first, just because it's easiest to see. We'll go ahead and add this control over to the right side. Okay, and we'll just turn that off. So we'll concentrate on this right here. All right, so what we'll do is we want to connect this foot roll attribute. So if I middle click and drag it back and forth, you can see it goes from 10 to -10. Okay, we'll set it back to 0. We want to connect it to these joints. Okay. Not this set here, but this actual set right here, the reverse lock. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to use something called the set-driven key. We'll go up here to Animate, Set-driven key, Set option box, okay, which is going to bring up this little window here. Okay, so let's see if we can get this to where we can work it and see it at the same time. All right, now the way this process works is you have a driver and a driven. Okay, so think of this foot attribute right here, foot roll, as the driver. As I adjust that number, it's going to adjust the joints that are going to be the driven. Now essentially what we're doing is setting up a kind of pseudo animation where instead of time down here we have this value. Okay, which is pretty neat concept. It saves you the hassle of having to write an expression to do all this stuff. It's pretty neat. All right, so we'll go over here. Once we select this curve, we'll hit Load Driver. There we go, and Foot Roll shows up, so we'll go ahead and select it. And we're going to select these joints here, and there's going to be 3 joints. The reverse lock base. Okay, actually I'll select them in reverse order here. The foot, Shift select the toe, and then Shift select. Oh, I can't seem to get that. Let me select it again here. We've got the foot, the toe, and then the base. Okay, so I have 3 items selected. I'll hit Load Driven, and you notice they all 3 show up perfectly. All right, so let's go ahead and find out, first of all, which direction we want to rotate this foot in. Okay, so I'll just select one of these little joints here, one of these reverse lock foot. I'll hit E on my keyboard, and I can see just by visually looking at my manipulator that X, this red line, is the direction that I want to rotate this in. And as you can see, that looks really good. Okay. So I'll just zero that back out. Oops. Not my translate, my rotate. There we go. All right, so rotate X is what I want to work with. So what we'll do is we'll go over here and select left reverse lock foot, toe, and base, and rotate X, and we're going to hit key. Now you notice the minute I hit that key button, this attribute turned orange. That's telling us that this joint is now keyframed. Okay. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go over here to our foot roll, and we'll set this to 10. And that means we want our foot totally in the air. Now, we're going to do this as kind of a process. We're going to move the foot into position, see if we like it. We're going to go back to frames 5 and 6, make some more adjustments. So we'll start with the reverse lock foot. Okay, we'll take this. This is at 10. Okay, notice right here, if I click on left foot control, it says 10 as the foot roll. Okay, we're going to grab our left reverse lock foot, and we're going to lift it up in Y to about we'll start off with, let's say, 30 is quite a bit. Let's say 22. Okay, and we'll hit key. Now let's test this out. And you'll notice I'm a big tester. If we get things done, let's go test them, make sure everything is working. All right, so as you can see, when I rotate this or set this to 10, it lifts up this joint, which is great. That's exactly what I want. Okay, let's now go back halfway to 5, to there, and let's take our toe, rotate X, key it. Essentially, nothing's changed. I just don't want the toe to move until frame 5. So I set a keyframe at frame 5. We'll go ahead and move the toe or move the foot roll to 10. Okay, and we're going to now lift up this toe quite a bit. So let's get this toe up in the air to, like, I don't know, something like maybe 65. Okay. Now, obviously, our foot doesn't do this type of action, so we're going to have to go tweak this. But let's key this, all right, and let's test it. So we'll select our foot roll, middle click. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, let's set this to frame 6. And let's take our foot, and I'm going to readjust this to 12. Okay, rotate X, I'm going to set that to 12. Come over here, hit key. All right, so that gives us that delay. And then let's go back to 10, and let's tweak that foot now. So let's take this joint here, and let's rotate that backwards. I want to flatten out my foot. So something like, I'd say something like this, maybe -20. Okay, and we'll hit key. So let's take a look at this now. We're going to go here. Very nice. So you can see as I kind of come in, I have a little bit of delay, and then my toe lifts, and my foot kind of straightens out a little bit. Okay, looks really nice. Now let's do the opposite. Let's set this to -10. And this is really simple. We just take the foot base, and we're going to rotate that back. Okay, maybe about -35 degrees. Okay, and we'll key that. So, as you can see, we've got our left foot completely set up here. All right, looking really good. So I'll set this to 0. And then I'm going to do the other side the exact same way. Now, you're welcome to pause the video here and follow along on your own if you'd like. Or if you'd like to watch it again, please feel free to do that. One step that I am going to do before I let you stop, as you can see, I rotated this joint more other than X. It should not be rotated in anything but X. There we go. That's why it was looking funny. Let's just double check that. There we go. Nice. Okay, we'll set this back to 0. All right, one thing I do want you to do before you start on this on your own is select the full reverse lock joint chain, shift select the control curve, and hit P to parent. This way, I can now pick up my foot. Okay, do whatever I want. Let me undo that. So I can move it out here and then adjust my foot roll. So all kinds of cool stuff now. Okay, all you have to do is select the joint chain and parent that. So in the next lesson, I'll get the other foot done. Like I said, you can skip it if you'd like.